Continuing with the issue of medical ethics and specifically focusing on the topics for high yield with USMLE Step 3, we'll continue with the subject of decision making in healthcare. And navigating these complex medical decisions requires a structured ethical framework. In this video, we'll explore the principles, assessments, and hierarchies that guide healthcare decision making, particularly when patient capacity is compromised or end of life care is considered. Let's start by the issue of decision making capacity. What is it? Decision-making capacity, DMC, is a patient's ability to understand and communicate a healthcare decision based on their personal preference and values. It serves as a cornerstone of patient autonomy and is essential for ethical healthcare provision. Remember, a lot of the things that we do within the ethical framework are to uphold the four ethical principles: autonomy, justice, beneficence, and non-maleficence. To enable the patient to make decisions regarding their care is one of the very important or a cornerstone in upholding patient's autonomy. DMC is assessed by the treating clinician through functional evaluation. Importantly, capacity is not absolute. A patient may have capacity to make certain decisions, but not others, depending on the complexity of the medical situation. It's a dynamic situation. Actually, it can change. Okay, there are conditions that can render the person unable to make decisions now, but by tomorrow they are able to make decisions and have full capacity to engage with the decision-making process effectively. Okay, so we have four essential components of capacity. Communication of the choice. The ability to clearly and consistently convey a decision about treatment option. This is one component. Number two, demonstration of understanding. The ability to comprehend relevant information provided, including all available options. Number three, appreciation of facts. The ability to recognize and evaluate facts pertinent to their specific situation. Number four, reasoning process. The ability to describe the thought process used to reach their medical decision. They have to make some sense of how did you approach or reach to this particular decision. A patient must demonstrate all four components to possess decision-making capacity. When capacity is questioned, clinicians conduct direct interviews asking patients to explain risks and benefits in their own words. Critically, reversible causes of incapacity, such as delirium, infection, or intoxication, must be addressed before concluding that capacity is absent. So at this moment, it might be absent due to some acute illness or intoxication state, but it's expected to improve when these things resolve or improve. Now, let's make a very critical distinction here between capacity and competence. Decision-making capacity is assessed and determined by the treating physician. Functional assessment that can vary by situation. It's dynamic, it's not static. Specific to particular healthcare decisions, can change over time or with treatment. These are the elements or the criteria of decision-making capacity as it pertains to healthcare. What about competence? Legal competence, it's a legal term. Determined only by a court of law, assesses global decision-making ability, global, everything, covers financial, property, and healthcare matters. Clinicians cannot declare legal incompetence. That's not within our purview. Now, as we said, the goal is to uphold autonomy as much as we can. Okay? So now the patient in front of us, the first thing we need to do is, are they competent or have capacity to make decisions or not? In cases that they don't have the capacity to make decisions, what should we do? We still need to preserve their autonomy. There is something called advance directives, and these are rooted in the ethical principle of patient autonomy, which is the fundamental right of self-determination. These instructions, whether oral or written, provide further medical care when patients lose the ability to make decisions themselves. Advanced, meaning beforehand. Directives means instructions or guides to what I need people to do to me when I can't decide for myself. That's exactly what advanced directives are. Okay. Number one, they ensure desired care. Patient receive the medical treatment they actually want, not what others assume they would want. These are my words. These are my desires, and that's what I want done to me. I either write this down in a document and make it available, or tell people about that. It could be oral or written. The other advantage to having advanced directives is it guides family members, provide clear direction for loved ones facing difficult healthcare choices during emotional times. Usually there is this chaos about what to do for our loved ones when it's critical to make kind of very delicate decisions in a time when they are worried and anxious about and concerned about their loved one. So having advanced directives actually make this clear and simple for them. That's what I want, and don't do this to me. Clear and direct. The third advantage to having advanced directives is to limit unwanted interventions. It helps avoid expensive, invasive, or futile care that the patient would not have desired. So what are the different types of advanced directives? A living will, healthcare proxy, and DNR orders. All these are considered advanced directives. What is a living will? This is a written document providing specific instructions on healthcare preferences, such as the use of feeding tubes or ventilators. It takes effect when the patient loses decision-making ability. This is maybe the most reliable of all of them, because it's written, it's documented, and at the time this was done, the patient had full capacity to make these decisions. So their desires and their preferences are not negotiable, or they are not questionable. They are clear and written down. So the living will is a form of advanced directives. The second type is healthcare proxy. This is a legal document designating a specific person to make healthcare decisions on the patient's behalf. I want John or Jane to make decisions on my behalf. That's what I want. This is a healthcare proxy, a person that is a proxy for me when I cannot make decisions. The proxy must base decisions on the patient's preferences, not their own wishes. People usually forget that. This proxy is speaking on behalf of the patient and on the basis that they know the patient and they know their wishes and their preferences, and they will speak about that or for that, not their own preferences. DNR orders, these are considered advanced directives, and these DNR orders document a competent patient's decision not to undergo CPR in the event of cardiopulmonary arrest. These are legally binding medical orders. The important part is advanced directives can be upgraded yearly or before any hospitalization and may be revoked at any time by a patient who retains decision-making capacity. You can change your mind. Even if you have a document, a legally binding document sitting somewhere about your desires and preferences, you can revoke that by just telling us, I'm not DNR anymore. I want to be fully resuscitated. This is not my healthcare proxy. I don't want him or her. This can be revoked. People need to remember that. Okay. Now, this is the hierarchy of decision making. And I will keep reminding you, we are talking about preserving and upholding the patient's autonomy, which is a principle, one of the ethical principles of medical ethics. When a patient lacks decision-making capacity, a clear hierarchy determines who makes treatment decisions. This model emphasizes substituted judgment. It's not exactly the patient talking to us, but it's a form of close enough judgment to what the patient could have chosen or what decisions would have been made if the patient would have decision-making capacity. Decisions must reflect what the patient would have wanted, not what others think is best. This is very important. Now, at the top of the pyramid is the competent patient that can decide for themselves. That's the best situation. Okay? At the top. So this is the first line. Let's say the patient is not competent. They lack capacity. The second best is having advanced directives. And the advanced directive in the form of a living will, that's better than the healthcare proxy, which comes below. If we don't have a living will, we don't have health proxy, then oral directives, patients sitting sometime in the past stating orally what they want. And people heard him or her, and they need to honor these preferences and desires. The bottom of the hierarchy is the next of kin. And even this next of kin has its own hierarchy. Okay? The wishes of a mentally competent patient are always paramount. When capacity is lost, we follow the patient's pre-specified legal instructions. If a healthcare proxy has been designated, their decisions must be followed, even if family members disagree. Oral advance directives gain validity when informed, specific, and confirmed by multiple witnesses. If we have that, then this trumps others. Okay, the next of kin, which we said is kind of the bottom of the pyramid. When no directives exist, the person had an emergency medical situation, they don't have any advanced directives, and now people need to decide. So how to go about that? In the absence of advanced directives or a designated healthcare proxy, decision-making authority falls to family members or next of kin. State laws typically establish a priority order for surrogate decision makers. Now, these are surrogates. They're not proxies, they are surrogates. They are replacing or trying to be the best next person who can make that decision. Usually a person that knows the patient, lived with them, spent years with them and time, and they understand them well. Usually this is the spouse. So the spouse is the first next of kin that we go to make decisions if available. Then the adult child, then the parent of the patient, then the adult sibling, and then finally the bottom is a close friend. But let me tell you, in reality, sometimes close friends take a higher level in this hierarchy because they know the patient well. They spend time with them more than any other family member. So the idea is, yes, by law, we need to kind of follow this order, but sometimes in reality, the one that's the best surrogate for the patient, and they can decide for them the best is a friend. Okay. In the absence of all that, or when you can't really um get the best substitute for the patient or surrogate, then ambiguity exists and maybe conflicts as well. Okay. And or conflicts arise among decision makers. Clinicians play a crucial facilitative role. Remember, as a clinician, you don't make decisions unless you are cornered. Yeah, in very rare situations. Usually decisions either by the patient or their proxy or their surrogate or collectively as a family, something like that, but not us. We facilitate the process of trying to make things clear or to resolve conflicts. The healthcare team must help parties reach an agreement about what the patient would have desired, always centering the patient's values and preferences. Okay? When consensus cannot be reached, then facilitate meetings with all stakeholders to discuss patient values and documented wishes. If the family members avoid decisions, the healthcare team must decide based on the best interest of the patient. Consult medical ethicists for complex ethical dilemmas. Engage in institutional legal counsel to ensure compliance with applicable laws. And document all discussions and decision-making processes thoroughly. That's very important. Document as you go. The process sometimes takes days to resolve. The goal is always to honor the patient's autonomy and ensure they are that care aligns with their values, even when they cannot speak for themselves. So, honoring the patient's journey. Decision making in healthcare upholds a patient's inherent right to direct their own course, much like a ship captain sets coordinates before a long voyage. If the captain becomes unable to steer, the first mate must follow the established map laid out by the captain, ensuring the vessel stays true to the captain's original intent, even if other crew members disagree on the route. The key takeaways from this: respect on autonomy. Patient wishes, when competently expressed, must be honored. Follow the hierarchy. Clear protocols exist to determine decision makers when capacity is lost. Document everything. Advanced directives provide clarity and prevent future conflicts. Center patient values. All decisions should reflect what the patient would have wanted. Thank you very much. Please follow me and like these videos so that I will be able to make more, and I will continue making these videos in the subject of ethics. And my focus is on the USMLE Step 3 high yield topics. Thank you.